Hey everybody! Once again, we are
back in action.
trying to be up on our current events. So
It's good.
this is something going on currently,
Okay.
and I know some of our other articles we go through aren't as current as we'd like. But this one actually is. This is something that's going on this week.
This week. Okay.
Week of as of recording time. So when you see this,
Okay.
it'll probably be after this, but it's still
So,
still relevant.
First week of May. Okay.
Regardless of when you watch this is a relevant conversation. So, right now there's a war going on in Israel, correct?
That is correct.
Israel has been attacked by Hamas. We're not going to get a lot of details.
A lot of bad stuff there. Yeah.
I didn't even say a result of this, but it's amplified it. There's a lot of anti-Semitic stuff going on.
Big time.
It has always, right? Like this isn't new.
Yeah.
The Bible was full of it. It's still happening. Obviously we had the Holocaust in our last century, and a lot of that same spirit is still alive and well and going strong. And just with current events going on, it's amplified once again. And you hear some of the same idiotic, evil stuff being said.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
like a good government always does, they decide to step in and help, right?
Okay.
Because it's
Is Israel you're talking about?
no, this is the American government.
Oh,
this is what the American government wants to do to help.
Stepped in and helped. Okay.
Okay, so
all right. Yikes.
Right, like I think it was Reagan that the scariest thing ever said is, I'm from the government, I'm here to help. Right, like
There's some truth there.
there's some truth. So anyway, there's anti-Semitic stuff happening now. It's already against the law to be anti-Semitic, basically, because you can't have any hate speech towards any group of people, really, because
Right.
it's already.
I'm always against hating a people group. That's
And hating
I'm
the people
strongly
group
opposed to that.
because they're just part of a people group is just
Yeah. Not good.
beyond stupidity.
All right, what's
and
going on
the
here?
people that advocate for this are generally the people that always. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So
There's a lot of build up.
we need a new rule, need a new law. So that this just passed in our Congress this week.
Okay.
So it has not gone to the Senate yet. Just passed the House, as far as I know.
okay. All right.
Unless I'm misreading this article. So they come with a new rule that says you can't have any anti-Semitic speech. Now that may or may not. There's argument that this is just straight up against the First Amendment of freedom of speech, right? So that's a conversation
They do
which you
uphold
may or may
the-
not want
yeah.
to address.
Okay.
But the example they give supposedly in this thing as an example of anti-Semitic speech is the claim that Jesus killed the Jews. Or that the Jews killed Jesus.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Claims that claiming that Jews killed Jesus or blood libel is their example that's given in this thing as
Really? That was thought through.
yeah. So
Wow.
So there's a bunch of people saying, hey, yeah, we don't want to be anti-Semitic either because obviously that's wrong, and obviously we believe the Bible, which means we're supposed to love the Jews and pray for Jerusalem and all the things the Bible teaches.
Right.
But the Bible says, like, there's a few spots in the Bible where it specifically says, you Jews killed Jesus, right?
Hey,
So, in essence,
yeah.
are you trying to backhandedly ban the Bible? Now,
or
naturally,
preaching.
they're defending and saying, no, that's not what we mean. We're saying, like, because this claim that the Jews killed Jesus is something that has been used through history as well as a reason to hate the Jews. You guys killed Jesus,
Yes,
right? Like
correct.
that's led to anti-Semitism,
Yeah.
and that's why they put this in there. But those words are technically in the Bible. Now, there's a lot more when you think through it.
Yeah.
There's a lot more, obviously, to it than that. So
Yeah, a
that's
lot-
where we're
lot
at.
more.
So we want to address what does the Bible actually say about did the Jews kill Jesus? because those words are in there.
But they didn't.
They didn't.
It was the Romans.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
He was killed on a cross.
They begged for it.
They begged for it.
As in, I always say they. You're talking about the mob that was present.
Yes.
Yelling, "Crucify him! Crucify
Which
him!"
was
Right?
egged on by the leadership, right?
And they said, "Free Barnabas." That was
Yeah,
their choice.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So those are the facts.
Yeah. So those are the facts. So
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, but that's scary stuff.
yeah. So when you're starting to ban certain phrases from being said, and those phrases are in the Bible, so now you're like, I don't know. I mean, I'm against anti-Semitism too.
Correct.
Very much so.
Yeah, yeah.
I couldn't be any more against it. I don't know if I like this bill. So this is what's going on.
Well, give that exact examples, Shady.
How we as Christians, how are we supposed to respond to stuff like this? Should we go get up in arms and say, hey, you know what, you can't do this, or what are we supposed to do?
I think it's this response in Acts 4 of Peter and John when they went before the religious leaders of Israel, Jerusalem, and they said, "You're not allowed to preach his name anymore." They go, "You know what? You can decide whether we're wrong or right, but we can do nothing else but to talk about what we've seen and we heard and." Jesus, him crucified, resurrected, and all that. So I think it's the same, basic response. They weren't mean about it. They were just bold, and they were even astonished by their boldness. These are uneducated. They don't have a formal education, and here they are speaking like very confidently about things.
Yeah, like they have some power behind them. What
Yeah,
they're
like there's
saying
something. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's interesting. So I think that's the simple response, and there's a reason that I think the New Testament was written with all that persecution background from Jews and Romans, as a whole, and it's because so we can know how to react in those times.
Yeah. So bottom line, I would say is that if this does end up going through the Senate and getting passed, signed, it's not going to stop us, right?
I'm not going to change.
I mean, it would be unfortunate that the wording in this is the way it is. It's unfortunate that you even have to have a bill like this. But yeah. The bottom line is, we know, reading our Bible, that things like this are going to happen and continue to happen more and more frequently. And the application for us is, if this is not something that's going to outlaw the Bible, those things will happen.
It's like this though too. You preach it. Why do you have to say that phrase? What you can do is you can focus on even Isaiah, where it was the will of the Father to crush him. Right? It was the Father did it. And then who did he use? The Roman government. And, yes, there was Jewish people that were cheering it on, but it didn't matter what the Jews did. God's will be done.
Yeah. This event was going to happen.
Yes.
Because it was the plan.
Right. It's like the Son of Man will be betrayed, but woe to him who did it. That's a paraphrase, but Jews scare it.
Yeah.
So it's like it had to happen, but you chose to do it? Yeah. Okay. So I would just change. I just wouldn't have that wording.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, they should rephrase how some of this is written, but I don't know if they're going to or not. I'm not a politician. I don't know laws, and this is stuff that like it's still like now they do the negotiating part of it, and people are like, I don't like that. And we'll see what actually happens. But and naturally they're saying that's not what we mean. We're not banning the First Amendment. We're not
It's history.
We're not saying you can't read the Bible. What we're saying is you can't go around saying things against the Jews, which we all agree with.
But that'd be like saying if you recount the Holocaust in a history class, to say, well, that's hate speech against Germans.
Yeah,
it's like no, that's not what's going on.
No, yeah, exactly, and
right.
And that's what the people defend and say. We're not like, but we also trust our government so much that we can see how 30 years from now, how can this get twisted to say, oh, you can't say that. That's against the law to say those words. So anyway,
yeah, good.
This is something that's going on, though.
It's important for us to know.
This is going on, and we can't just stick our head in the sand and pretend like things aren't happening.
Right.
We do need to be aware.
Yeah,
and we do need to pray for the peace in Israel.
It's good.
So
thanks for that story.
All right, have a good day.
Yeah, that was solid.